A shocking story from the Wall Street Journal is showing that Donald Trump knew that his name was in the Epstein files. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and bring up this story here from the Wall Street Journal. This is crazy. The Justice Department told Trump in May that his name is among many in the Epstein files. Oh boy. Oh boy. Bondi also told President at the meeting that Justice decided not to release more Jeffrey Epstein documents because of the presence of child pornography and the need to protect the victims. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. In May, Bondi and her deputy informed the president at a meeting in the White House that his name was in the Epstein files. These are coming from officials here. Many other high-profile figures were also named. Trump was told. Being mentioned in the records isn't a sign of wrongdoing. No, it's not a sign of wrongdoing, but it is kind of really strange that now we're hearing the exact opposite again. First, we were told there was a mountain of files on her desk that she needed to go through. Then Donald Trump came back and said, guess what? The DOJ said there's nothing there for anybody to see. There are no files. Now it comes back that not only, yes, there are files, as many of us had predicted, but also that they were told in May, Trump was told in May that his name was in those files. In May. And after May, they were lying to you. Yes. It's like that song, Return of the Mac, when he said, you lied to me. They lied to you. This is exactly what I was talking about. The question is, why is Donald Trump behaving in such a suspicious way? If he did no wrongdoing, why is he behaving in this manner? And that's what people need to start asking. Let's get into a little bit more here. The officials said it was routine briefing that covered a number of topics and that Trump's appearance in the documents wasn't the focus. They told the president at the meeting that the files contained what officials felt was unverified hearsay about many people, including Trump, who had socialized with Epstein in the past, some of the officials said. One of the officials familiar with the documents said they contained hundreds of other names. They also told Trump that senior Justice Department officials didn't plan to release any more documents related to the investigation of the convicted sex offender because the material contained child pornography and victims' personal information. Trump said at the meeting he would defer to the Justice Department decision not to release any further files. So this is something that we really need to dive in on here, ladies and gentlemen, because this to me doesn't make any sense. As I've told you before, it was reported that Donald Trump flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane at least 7 times. So I told you, obviously, yeah, his name is probably in the files. I don't understand why the DOJ has to try to lie their way around this, except for the fact that there's more there that they don't want people to know, whether it involves Donald Trump, whether it involves other high-profile figures. But it's so obvious here that they lied to you. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to say this article here from the Wall Street Journal is fake news. I'm pretty sure they're going to say it's not real. But we all know what Pam Bondi said herself at the very beginning when she said the files were on her desk. And now like, no, this is not real. This is not really a real thing. It's also kind of strange that this video is circulating around again. People have to see this from Mint Press News. Footage emerges of Jeffrey Epstein admitting his relationship with Trump. Oh boy, when asked whether they were together in the presence of underage girls. Listen to this video here. This is March 17th of 2010.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Everybody hear what he just said? Once he was asked the question about if him and Donald Trump had been in the presence of underage girls, he wants to invoke his 5th and 6th rights. meaning he does not want to answer that question. If there's no wrongdoing, why does he not answer that question? Who is he protecting? Who was Jeffrey Epstein protecting at that point? Is it just about Donald Trump, or is it about other people as well? Guys, this is damning. I don't care what they say. This is a damning report here, ladies and gentlemen, because again, it not only shows you that the DOJ were liars, it also brings up another question. Many people are sitting back now and they're wondering, well, if this information was already present, why wasn't it presented under the Biden administration, right? Now, Joe Biden's administration never said that they were going to bring forward these files. Trump's administration did, and that's why a lot of the heat is on them. But to that point, it is kind of strange that if the DOJ had this information, then they most likely had that information under the Biden administration as well. And if that is the case, then it makes me wonder something else. Why didn't the Democratic Party use that information against Donald Trump when he ran for president in 2024? Why didn't Biden and Kamala, why didn't they use that information against Donald Trump when he ran in 2024? And here's my belief. I believe they didn't use that information because it implicates other people that are also Democrats. As I said before, Epstein's bipartisan. He didn't just hang out with people who were Democrats. Rich people come in different political ideologies. So you need to start asking yourself that question. Seems like a layup for Democrats, doesn't it? But they did not utilize it, because it would implicate people in their party as well, possibly even donors. Think about that. Now, a lot of people are having a field day with this, and that includes South Park. South Park is having a field day with this. Donald Trump's White House is melting down over Wednesday night's South Park premiere, which just so happened to attack the president's teeny tiny manhood. So yeah, you guys know how South Park can be. I guess this is a part of the episode here. Trump White House rages over South Park episode, calls to show fourth rate. And this is the image here where it shows Donald Trump basically in bed with the devil there. Yeah, I know they want these Epstein files to go away, but it's not going away. And speaking of going away, now we want to put all this together, because I found it very interesting that the GOP wanted to shut down proceedings as they were about to vote on revealing these files. Check this out. Ilhan Omar came forward to let people know about this. The Epstein files have Republicans in chaos. Crazy things happening. Check this out.
Hey y'all, we're at the Education and Workforce Committee, and we were supposed to vote on a bill to address human and sex trafficking, but they just canceled committee because we had an amendment to address the Epstein files. So I told you all the protection for the pedophile party is at it again. Hey y'all.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. Now, again, like I said, I don't think this is just a Republican thing. I don't think it's just a Democrat thing. I think that it is bipartisan. And I think that, again, like I said, the Democratic Party didn't use this at their disposal. They had this information under the DOJ as well. Why did Merrick Garland bring this information forward, right? Because both parties are complicit in this behavior. Remember, we've gone through the pictures. Jeffrey Epstein knew a number of people, right? So we knew a number of people there. Even when Mike Johnson is questioned about this, he puts it all on the Democrats. Check this.
No, there's no fear. We're not going to allow the Democrats to use this as a political cover. Remember, they had 4 years. Hold on. The Biden administration held the Epstein files for 4 years. Not a single one of these Democrats or anyone in Congress made any peep about that at all. They could have brought a discharge petition at any point in the last 4 years. They chose not to. They waited until President Trump was elected. I think that's very suspect. And I will not allow the House to be drug into political games.
So, and then you have Mike Johnson here is like, let's shut down these proceedings because we don't want this vote to take place. We don't want to, he doesn't want the information revealed either. I'm pretty sure he already received instructions from higher ups. Again, Who are they protecting? I think they're protecting politicians. I think they're protecting donors. I think they're protecting billionaires. I think they're protecting celebrities. I think that's who they are protecting. And it's very clear here. Mike Johnson ain't running no damn show either. I'm pretty sure he got orders from somebody else telling him, don't you let that happen. Shut it all down. Shut it all down. Now, this happened the day before the Wall Street Journal article was published. So that says a lot there, ladies and gentlemen. Since the Wall Street Journal article came out after this, they're putting all the pieces together. And that basically tells you they already had the heads up about the possibility of Donald Trump being a part of that as well. Tulsi Gabbard, when she was questioned about Jeffrey Epstein's involvement with intelligence, even her answer, are we really supposed to believe this?
On Jeffrey Epstein, can you rule out that he was connected in some way to any kind of intelligence, either foreign or domestic?
I haven't seen any evidence or information that reflects that. If anything comes before me that changes that in any way, support the president's statement loud and clear. If any credible evidence comes forward, he wants the American people to see it.
Great.
So let's talk about this for a second, folks. Do people actually believe that she's going to stand up there and say, oh, yeah, he was connected to Israeli intelligence. He was Mossad. He was working for Mossad. Of course not. They're not going to tell you anything that's going to implicate Israel. So it's just, it's just another one of those things. Like, that they're not going to tell you the truth about everything that's going on here. This is a moment for you to say you lied to me. Yeah, they did. They're liars. They're not going to throw their donors under the bus. They're not going to throw other rich people under the bus. So now that this article has come out from the Wall Street Journal, and they're going to be looking for all different ways to try to shut this information down. But nothing excuses this, ladies and gentlemen, that the Justice Department told Trump in May that his name is among many in the Epstein files. So when Pam Bondi came forward later and told you that, there's nothing to see there, nothing at all. We do not have any of that information. There's no list. There's no names, none of that. That was a lie. You were lied to. And regardless of the outlet that reported this information, at this point, does it really matter? The way that Donald Trump has been moving around this particular issue is suspect as hell. Because if you didn't do anything wrong, why are you so skittish about this? Why did Donald Trump freak out when a reporter asked him in front of Pam Bondi about Jeffrey Epstein, when he was actually talking to Pam Bondi about Jeffrey Epstein? He jumped into that conversation, which he probably should have just shut up. He jumped into that conversation and said, are you still talking about that creepy Epstein guy? Are you still on that? That was suspect. That was hella suspect. That really made people look at Donald Trump like, why are you jumping in to defend Pam Bondi about this guy? Right? If this guy is so creepy and so strange, why are you jumping in to defend the information that you guys know that you had, but you then later told everybody that you did not have? That's the thing. And that's something that people need to ask. Donald Trump has been very skittish about this particular topic, even though it was his administration that said they were going to release the Epstein files. Nobody held a gun to their head and say, release those files. This was information that they volunteered to do. They said that they were going to do this. And it's easy to point fingers at the Biden administration and say, why didn't the Biden administration do this? I get it, but they didn't say they would. You did. Now, to answer that question, the reason why the Biden administration is not doing this is because, like you guys know, they probably know some people on that list too that are Democrats or donors to the Democratic Party. That's why. The corruption is bipartisan. That's how deep it runs. And once you understand that, you'll get all the answers that you need to know. These politicians are corrupt. They sold their souls the moment they decide to do the bidding of lobby interest groups, do the bidding of big money interests of Wall Street, of the military industrial complex. And all they're focused on is continuing their political careers for as long as they can because the perks are that good. And that's all they really care about, folks. So Trump lied. Pam Bondi lied. Cash Patel and Dan Bongino lied. They all lied to you. And it's okay to admit that. They lied. Period. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.